right now it's time for us to get into our communities with our community development segment and check out what's happening in our communities. Sometimes it's good news and sometimes it's bad news and sometimes it's devastating news, like what we are about to check out now. So as you all know, we've been talking about the Akosombo Dam Spillage and how it has affected so many people. And obviously that is why we started a relief campaign asking you to please help. Be empathetic, help, and let's donate and, help these people try to survive what they are going through, because properties have been lost, homes have been lost. Almost everything these people have really worked for through, like all their life, have been lost in a couple of days, and it's serious. It's a serious issue, and like I said, it's very devastating. And mostly, a lot of people think it's just happening just around the Volta region, but it's also happening around the eastern region, some parts of the eastern region, and some parts of the greater Accra region. We actually have a report from one of ours here in Citi TV, Charles Owusu, which he visited the Kokuntekpeji, that's on parts of the eastern region, and we actually saw the effects of the spillage on the fisher folks. But for those who haven't watched it, this is a report on that, and we'll be right back to discuss about it.
For the past few days on the Citi Newsroom, we've been bringing to you the level of devastation that's been happening around the Volta and eastern regions due to the spillage of the Akosombo Dam. We brought you the residents of Mepe, the kind of ordeal they've had to endure. We've seen people lose their homes. We've seen people lose their livelihoods. Today we find ourselves in Kokuntekpeji. This is in the Esojaman districts of the eastern region. And one of the main economic activities here is fish farming. And this is what they do. But they've been heavily impacted by this spillage. So this is what you see behind me. They are fish ponds. Unfortunately, due to the volume of water that's coming from upstream from the Akosombo Dam, they've lost everything. They've lost thousands of fishes. Now their lives have come to a standstill. The economic lives have come to a standstill. Some of them tell us that they have nothing else to do. This is all they know. This is what they've been doing from their childhood, which is fishing and fish farming. Now they don't have anything else to do, and they're looking up to government and authorities to come to their aid. We'll hear from the horses' own mouths now. We'll engage them and ask them how they're faring now that the economic lives have been taken away from them through this spillage of the dam. But tell me exactly what happened.
Oh, the thing that's happening is impromptu. So the varying people must give us alert so that they spill the water. Today, let's see, 2 days, then they open the water. We too don't know what we can do, so that we just leave our fish, 10,000 of 30,000 of fishes they have left. So a lot of our money gone. As you can see of the water, people cages are damaged. People cages are damaged. So we are pleading for the government that if they have something for us, they should quickly do it for us, so that we can survive. So as I'm speaking here, you yourself you can see that my speaking is not going through. Our money that we lost is not small money.
About how much money has been lost here?
Oh, plenty money. I can't sell it. Billion upon billion.
About how many fishes were in the cage?
Each cages contain 12,000. So each
12,000. What kind of fish? Tilapia?
Tilapia. I will do with tilapia. So as the thing happened like that, all the fishes have gone. So you can't do anything about it.
In a recent time, we have a notification from VRA that there would be a spillage. But actually, they told us that, and it wasn't long ago when they started the spillage. So we have lost a big money.
So you didn't have enough time to prepare and salvage as much as you could?
No. We have not got enough time. You know, like announcement came the next day or the next night until the next morning, then the spillage started. So we have not gotten that adequacy to get our fishes and our items salvaged. I have lost a lot of money, and you know, some of these monies are not directly from my own pocket. I've started this so very young. I've started, you know, in our lives, you know, it's not everybody that have to go through this formal education to become whatever. So we, by our own small way, we have this mentality that we want to be entrepreneurs. So as we are living by the water, it's a big opportunity, and we take up this opportunity. Before this happening, you know, we have lost a lot of money.
What do you want VRA, the authorities, members of parliament, the government to do for you?
Well, right now we are pleading on the cooperative, but the government, the non-government organizations, and everybody across the world, whatever agency, as an individual, whatever it is, we really need your help, because it's not easy. You know, starting, you know, all of a sudden you've lost all your investment. If God doesn't take care, you know, we will not be able to come back to our normal. It's not easy at all, because a lot of big farms have been affected. You know, mine is just a small setup, but you could just imagine the kind of money or the kind of damages I'm facing through right now.
What now you're here? What about yes, our spillage no? VRA phone baha no we din komo.
Omu baha 3 days stamp no mu bue dam no. Enti ye ya humboya bia ansa no omu bue dam no.
3 days.
3 days stamp ansa no omu bue dam no. Mba wokuda ya woda fida no omu bue dam no.
Enti we see area etche no why na baha omu abaha na mofu abaha na obi fufura abaha ba be hwese na mo hote.
Ya asase wura ne ba. Ene MP bae. Ene viadu for anad mo for bae.
Omu ba de no mo de bre.
Omu fa hwan bre. Omu fa hwan bre. Na do for so omu se omu ko kire ansa no ba se yenti won kai.
MP Subaya aseme no ka chem.
So also kwa ko hu viadu management no mo be san bae ho. And that's who MPP for one pious umsu abaha. And so one abodan bubu ye no obama won 60 million. Ona ochiche ma won kakra na amo kakra bi. Ona ochiche ma won kakra.
Sisi one wo man for sisi am ho te sen sisi am ntumi nya adwuma bi mu.
Oh, ya ahoton de e wo ho. Na so adwuma na e di maye. Na so ye manage hu kakra ansa na ye hwe se then government meya amayana.
Most of the houses here in Kweji are mud houses, and so as you can see, some of them did not stand a chance of the full force of the water that was coming upstream as a result of the spill. We're told that a lot of them have lost their homes and they do not have places to lay their heads. It's been like this for a few days. Where's your house? Which one?
This is my house, the middle one.
The middle one is your house. When did this happen?
It happened about getting to 2 weeks now.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
And what was in there before the destruction? Did you have any belongings in there? Or you were able to evacuate your things from the room?
Yeah. We removed the things from the room
Okay.
before the things happened.
So where do you stay now? Where do you live now?
I'm sleeping at the stove top.
At
The stove top.
do you have another house over there?
No. If it is night, then I will lay some small bed on the ground and I sleep.
I mean, but this looks like it's a close-knit community. You can't spend the night with some of your family members or friends.
Everybody has his wife, and there is no room for me again.
So how are you expected to build this back up when the water recedes? You be able to build yourself, or you need help from somewhere to be able to build it?
And always we are crying for the government that they should come and help us. Especially the council, Asojamai Council, the DC, and then the MP. We need the help from them.
What exactly do you need?
Okay, if they give us money, we can go to the top and build another room. But if they couldn't, then they should come and see, so that what they have to do, they should do for us.
I mean, paint a picture for me how this place looked like before this flood incident.
It was a very nice place, and we use here as our fishing community, where we fish here to take care of our dependents, the old age, and then the toddlers here. But as for now, even with the fishermen, we cannot even go to the fish on the river to fish, to take care of those people. So there's a lot of burden on us. Yes.
Show me the banks of the river before.
Formerly, it was there.
Mm-hmm.
It was there. It was far away from this tree. Okay. So we normally sit under the tree. We normally sit under the tree. That's where we sit when we are not working. We sit there. We relax over there. But for now, this is the extent at which the water has reached. So we are rendered homeless.
Behind me is the Akosombo Dam itself. If you can see in our shots, that's the spillage currently ongoing. Several communities have been affected. This is the Esojaman constituency. And we're joined with us the Member of Parliament for Esojaman, Thomas Nyako Ampem. We'll have a discussion with him. Were you engaged by the VRA before they began this exercise?
The VRA did not engage us. I saw on the Esojaman District Assembly platform that the District Chief Executive had posted the communication there. I quickly forwarded it to some of the platforms that I am on. But directly, the VRA did not engage any member of parliament. That I can say confidently that they left us out in these communications. But the harm has already been caused. I think going forward, they need to widen the stakeholder consultations and the way they disseminate some of these information. That has to reach out further. In fact, to be honest with you, this is not the first time VRA is spilling. And we agree with them that they must take steps to protect the integrity of the dam. This is a national asset that must be protected. So once they are seeing that the water level is rising to a level that if they don't spill will affect the dam, they must do so. But I don't think they anticipated that the spillage was going to be discontinuous and that it was going to affect a lot more people than it has happened in the past.
At the MP level, what processes have you initiated to get the compensation you talked about for these people? What have you done in that regard?
I have personally had discussions with our district NADMO coordinator to continue with the data collection. We need a comprehensive information on those who have been affected. And we cannot get it now because the spillage is still ongoing and a lot more people will be affected. So when it is ended and we know in totality the extent of the damage, we will petition VRA and follow through to see that the VRA and maybe the central government comes in to support the individuals who have been affected.
And there you have it. That was a report from Charles Owusu-Kumi from the Eastern region. And it's a lot for me.
It is. It is.
I have so many questions.
It is. So, look, what we know so far is that on the 4th of September, some notice was given. But I mean, they knew that this dam spillage would happen as far back as, let's say, late April into May. It was known. And so a simulation was done in May. Some level of notice was given. As to how intensive it was, going into the communities, dealing with, say, community radio stations, talking, we don't know that for sure. Of course, in interacting with people, when we watch the different reports and speak to our colleagues who have been on the ground, they do, you know, get feedback from people who've said, okay, we heard about it, but then I heard it maybe today and then they are spilling tomorrow. Yeah. Or it's 2 days and there's a very precious few people so far have said, oh, I knew a month in advance. And so because of that, I packed my family and, you know, everything I have and moved.
But you know, even at that, even if you were told a month ago or even 3 months ago, imagine building your whole life. Like everything you have is at one place. And then factored with the whole economic situation, right? It's not easy for anybody.
At all.
How did they think it was going to be easy for people to just pack up?
At all.
And
And
leave.
you know, a lot of these people, a lot of the people who live in these areas, they're already dealing with poverty.
Exactly.
Right? Now, the report that we watched, these are people, you heard the gentleman say, look, it's not all of us who had the chance to go
to
through school and,
yeah.
you know, so we're trying to do something for ourselves. We have land, we're farming, or we are fishing,
Yeah.
you know, and then in one sweep, literally, sweep of water, everything is washed away. I'm very sad, and I'm not so sure, you know, who to even lay blame.
Yeah, at this point, we don't know who to
On,
lay
you-
blame
you-
on.
you know.
It's really hard to point at even, or to say, okay, yeah, maybe it's the VRA's fault, because at the end of the day, it's a necessary evil that has to happen for us to even have electricity.
Because look, if this dam breaks, again, I keep saying that I don't think that a lot of people also understand how dams work. It's not just a big container that you put water inside, like, you know, when you're at home and your water is not flowing, you go and buy a drum and fill it with water.
Yes.
No. There are technical elements to the dam. There are turbines, all sorts of things. And when those, you know, components are inundated, because the water is a very heavy, very, very, very heavy, you know, substance,
Yes.
right? So you're dealing with the water levels, which are measured in cubic feet. It shouldn't rise beyond a certain level, because if it starts overflowing into certain parts of the dam, touching certain components, you could have even electrical problems, right? Then you're also dealing with weight, mass. You know, in lay terms, we'll say weight. We're dealing with the mass and the volume of the water as well. And when it gets to a certain point, it becomes too heavy, the dam can break.
True.
And if the dam breaks, imagine all that water. Just that it will come all the way to Tema, you know, it would be a problem. And not to mention the fact that the Akosombo Dam gives us a lot of our hydro supply for our electricity. And this is a nationwide thing. So it's a necessary evil. But again, how could we have done more, if possible, to mitigate the effect? Or are we saying that we did everything we could and this is the result? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't
too.
think so.
Because I'm asking myself, obviously, you know the amount of volume that you're supposed to put out there and the speed that probably you're supposed to. Could it have been regulated? Are there different? Could there have been different ways to do it so there wouldn't be such impact that we have right now?
Now, I'm wondering, and maybe again we have to look into this when it comes to insurance and whatnot. You know, are some of these, especially and particularly the people in business,
The fish farms.
you know, the fish farms, especially those who have investors, because our colleagues did say that, it's particularly Charles, I believe, Charles Owusu-Kumi of the Citi News desk did say that he spoke to, in going to some of these areas, he spoke to several people, and he would get there and he would meet investors in these fish farms, you know, who would have come and count their losses. So I'm also wondering how far insurance, you know,
Yeah.
would go. And don't forget, we're dealing with a lot of economic challenges. Would they get the payouts that they need, the claims that they agreed to in the beginning based on the premiums that they've been paying? I think there are a lot of questions.
There's a lot
you
of
know,
questions that needs to be answered.
And then how do you bounce back from that?
No, because
And then also how the way these farms, these fisher folk have been affected, how is that also going to affect the national food basket? Yesterday, officials and the Greek minister, they were all saying that no, I mean, it's not going to. On Eyewitness News, with him, you know, they said that, but I don't know. Is that just an assumption, or have we done the hardcore research to be able to say, based on X, Y, Z,
right.
whatever has happened is not going to affect our food basket. It's not going to give us less of commodity A or commodity B, and it's not going to skyrocket, cause prices of food items to skyrocket, you know?
Tilapia might be affected though. So yeah, it's going to affect us a bit. Right. All right. So we've seen, reports from the Eastern region, and obviously we've been talking about, some parts of Greater Accra too. So we have a report filed by Omar Sanda when he visited, some parts of Adan. Let's check it out.
We have come here in the Adan district, Adan East district, to assess the situation, how people who live along the Volta River have been affected as a result of the spillway. Now, the interesting thing with Adan is because this is where the river terminates in the sea. In terminating in the sea, there is a lagoon, there are a number of tributaries. The river divides itself into various parts. This forms islands in the sea, or in the river rather, making a lot of communities island communities. Now, when the river overflowed and the tide went so high, the people who were living in riverine areas or in islands have had to move. So the local authorities had to move in there and bring them out with canoes to save them. The NADMO, National Disaster Management Organization, has demarcated a lot of places as safe havens. One of them is the one right here. It's an evacuation center. It's a safe haven. In the event of any challenge, this is where the Disaster Management Organization brings people. But it is not a center that was set up specifically for this purpose. Often, what happens is that a school is converted or used as an evacuation center and a safe haven. So this particular safe haven is located at the Azizanya DA Basic School in Adanfour, where our coverage for the Citi Newsroom starts from today. Behind these gates, there are people who have been brought in there. I'm going in there to speak to them. But before then, let me speak to this journalist. He's a local reporter, works with a Kasser-based Eagle FM. If you could just join me. He has his camera, he's been moving around town and also engaging people about the flood situation. As a media house, I'm sure people would have been calling into your media house. What are some of the things people were asking in terms of help that they required?
Yeah, most of them are saying they don't know where to go, especially people who are teachers and nurses, that they've placed them on the island schools and hospitals, or let me say cheap compounds on the island. They came from far places, so they don't know where to go. Some of them have to move and perch elsewhere and other things. If you don't have money to rent, it means you have to move elsewhere. And so it became a problem to most of them. The community folks themselves, Adan, we call ourselves Chekobi Kenyekobime. We have been, let me say, intersected or something like that. Yes, so your colleague may be on the island, but you will be at a safer place, and he or she
host that person.
Yes.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. So that's Popolampo. He works with Eagle FM base and at Kasser, which is Adan Junction, where they have been broadcasting on events happening here. Now let's go inside and see what the situation is in this particular safe haven. So inside the yard here, people who have been brought from the island communities are actually queuing here. These are displaced persons who have been brought. There is security presence providing them with the needed security. It's an enclosed school compound with a wall and a gate, which means the people here are pretty much protected. When did you come here?
Since Sunday.
Since Sunday. Since you came, how have you been treated?
Oh, it's been good, yeah. Even though you will not get it at home, but it's okay.
Can I see where you sleep? Can you take me?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just go with me and see what the situation is here, how different this center is from other centers. Yeah, good afternoon. Oh. Okay, I'll go. All right, so this is a classroom. There is furniture in this classroom, which is different from what we've seen in other classrooms. There are dual desks, and then there are lots of mattresses. So where do you sleep yourself?
Myself, this is my mattress.
That's your mattress?
Yeah, this is my mattress. So when it's night, then I lay it right here then.
So you don't have any challenges here that you need assistance for, do you?
No challenges yet.
I see that there are windows. Okay, these are not windows. I'm not sure how to describe these. Yeah. But there are holes that mosquitoes could come inside. Do you have challenges of mosquitoes biting you, or you have mosquito nets or mosquito coils?
Yeah, we have coils. We have a lot of coils. As you can see, that's the coil, a packet of coil. Okay. So every day have to go around and then share it to the other people.
Which village are you coming from?
Azizakpe.
Azizakpe is an island.
Yes.
What happened to you over there?
Because of the water, all the city is full of water. We cannot stand. If we crash, she enter our room. When we sleep, we wake up. You see that I have a small child. If not God, because of God help me, my child would die. I sleep in my child in the floor. I don't know that the water come. I'm deep asleep. Since like someone call me, wake up. When I wake up, full of all my bed have covered with the water. In fact, I'm very disturbed. We can't even our food, all these animals, everything have spoiled with the water. So we need our help. Now I'm sick. I'm not feeling well. If I don't have money, everything, our properties have gone.
So things look pretty organized in this particular school. The headmaster of the school is here with me. Let me just ask him how things are going.
For now, the directorate has asked that the primary session should be closed. So we have closed the primary session.
So no primary school happening this whole week?
Yes, please.
And the KG?
The KG is far away in Azizanya Township proper. Okay. So we have closed that one too. Because some of the people are also staying there. The town folks are using that place.
This is Azizanya in Adan. You can call it where the river meets the community. Behind me is the Volta River. Beyond it, you see the island of Azizakpe. It's a community. But just at the shore here, you see canoes that have been anchored. Fishermen move into their homes, like this one, which has been, well, I don't even know what the word to use to describe it. It looks like it's deserted, but it appears someone is still here. Na chuo penye manga nyuo milo nyuo ne bana chuo.
Nyuo le bana chuo.
Le sa aje nyuo hiyo.
O sa ebe yi o yenga chicha sike.
Chicha ka aje.
Ka ona ina ma fia no ngo. Esi. Pope.
Le mini bele nyuo ba se wi on yiko.
O ka jebe na ka bli nyu.
I see.
Ne ba sem.
Lo ne ina kan chuo lo nye mi wo still.
Wa je poko he fan ya se ju pomele angemi. Ke wa ho ni lo wa ba wo ni enyu. Se wa je ko square mi ya.
Le nye yigbe kan nyuo ne ba hio e ke lowe yin ba chuo mi ke hanye ke ni ne magba nya lo.
Wa pi egbe se ke he ko chabe ni wa maya.
Lo nyuo mi nye ja.
He ko beni akole ya mi nye ke be.
Le che ahanye center ke nye ba hin le jo mba no ye.
Ke ji yo ike bi church na ni ne na wo han le je chabe wo si.
And there you have it. That was a report filed by Omar Sanda. And of course, we saw that classrooms have been turned into safe haven for the, flood victims. And that's in Adan. And the question I had in my head before I got the answer, so what happens to the students? What happens to school?
Yeah. Classes have been come to us. Look, and don't forget, we're still dealing with the brunt of COVID.
Yeah,
the school system is clamoring to try to get back to some kind of normalcy where it comes to timetables and, the timelines, when you go to school, when you're at home, all that. And then also catching up with the curriculum, the syllabus. And now here we are
again
dealing with this. So a child who lives in a community like this or comes from a community like this, their friends and their colleagues and their mates in other parts of the country are moving ahead. When and how do they catch up? And I mean, indeed, in a time like this, you are trying to preserve human life before anything else. So education is not at the forefront of the conversation, unfortunately. And so people are sleeping in the classrooms. That's become a safe haven for them. That's a living quarters in the meantime. It's a really, really, really heartbreaking situation. And if you're not moved to make noise about this, to ask the right questions as to how we got here, and then also to do what you can, be it through donation of food items, whatever they may need, or money, then I really don't know. I don't know what else you need to see and to hear. Let's go for a break. This is Breakfast Daily. We'll be right back.
is the neighborhood I'm having my twins.
The very reason why I took it for us. See, the price is very good and it's spacious to contain all of us.
Alphabet City. Now I'm a landlord. I don't pay rent. And my Airbnb business is booming.
To me, Pamini, bank and I'm an Alphabet City. The pension pay me 20%. The payment plan, I want to share my just very smooth.
This is a healthy place to raise our families and creating peace. Come on, be my neighbor.
Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
Alphabet City is a classy and peaceful gated community in Sakumono. We have 24/7 top-notch security and high-quality access roads. We have 3 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, 3 bedrooms and 3 washrooms with boys' quarters. We have 3 bedrooms and 4 washrooms. We have 2 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, all with beautiful kitchens and kitchenettes. Call Alphabet City on 0240-111119 or 050-44-99999. Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
The biggest food and music festival is coming to Accra this October. The Eat Drink Music Festival is bringing together the hottest food and drink joints, DJs and musicians for 2 unforgettable days.
Wait for the drums.
Come out with the family to enjoy local and continental foods, drinks and fun activities like video games, arts installations, face painting and many more.
Is you rolling?
It's happening at the Untamed Empire, Accra, on the 28th and 29th of October. Buy your tickets now on all networks by dialing *714*500#.
Oh yeah!
Eat, drink, music, the ultimate festival experience.
Welcome back. This is still Breakfast Daily right here on Citi TV. And we've been talking on our community development segment about the Akosombo Dam Spillage and the aftermath of that. The show is interactive. 020-444-7033 is the WhatsApp line. 020-444-7033. And of course, if you're texting us from beyond Ghana's shores, then use the country code +233. You can also use the hashtag Breakfast Daily across all social media platforms. Got a few messages here. Let me just read them. What has happened with this dam spillage is very, very serious. I had no idea that this could ever happen in Ghana. It's like watching a movie whenever I turn on the TV, and I really don't know what to say. That's coming from Mana in the northern region. All right, then we also have here, Citi TV, can you tell us again how we can make donations? I don't have a lot of money, but I want to give my widow's mite. I mean, it's very simple. We'll tell you shortly how you can do that. So those are a couple of messages coming in. You can also join the conversation if you send us your messages through the designated WhatsApp number. Now, we've watched a number of reports, one filed by Citi News' Charles Owusu-Kumi from the eastern region. He spoke to a number of people, particularly people who are into fish farming, who have businesses, and how those businesses have been affected. So looking at the economic situation when it comes to this dam spillage. We've also seen a report filed by, again, Citi News' Umaru Sanda Amadou, where he was in the Adan area in the Greater Accra region, speaking to people, looking at how classrooms have been turned into safe havens, places of refuge for people who have been affected by this situation. And we've learned that many classes have been put on hold as a result. And we're asking questions in that regard, Chris and I, this morning. But there's more to talk about. The Ghana Navy, right, has many detachments, or what we would call basically spaces. They have little parts of the Navy that are based along certain areas, and some of these areas have been affected by the spillage. Now, the Navy has saved thousands of people with their boats, with their expertise, ever since this has happened. But we're also wondering how they've been affected, considering the fact that they themselves have camps in these areas. And is that in turn affecting the kind of support that they can give to these efforts? All right, and we'll be speaking to a naval officer very shortly about that.
Right.
So, Chris, it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And also for the fact that you even spoke about the Navy right now. I'm like, is the Navy not supposed to be helping? And now they are into, like, you know, they are suffering this problem too. So it's a bit confusing and devastating. And I'm wondering how they are even keeping up with their mental health while trying to save others. It's a lot. It's a lot to talk about.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So I mean, we'll speak to the Navy shortly and then get to hear what they're also dealing with.
Right.
Meanwhile, we want to remind you how you can donate to the Citi FM, Citi TV relief efforts, all right? It's very simple. In collaboration or in consultation with the VRA, with NADMO, with other relevant stakeholders, we've come up with a list of things that are needed here and now. Think of it as first aid or first response, okay? On that list, water, very important. We're told that people in these communities, because they are thirsty, have started drinking the polluted water, and people are breaking out with cholera, typhoid, bilharzia, which we mentioned earlier, that I haven't heard the term about the disease bilharzia in a very long time.
You haven't heard about it in a long. I haven't heard it before.
Very long time.
Like, I haven't even heard it before. I'm
very
like,
long
what?
time. I mean, it doesn't mean that people may not have been dealing with it, but usually when things like this happen, it's a waterborne disease.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a serious situation. We need water. Could be sachet water, could be bottled water. If you're a water producer, if you know a water wholesaler, if you have the means to buy boxes or bags of water, please do, and then make sure you bring them to us. We're also looking at food items, canned food, bagged food, food that is packaged in a way that can easily be transported, that's one. Food that is not perishable, because don't forget, we don't know how long the situation is going to last. We're still spilling from the dam. Initially, we started spilling through 4 floodgates of the, spillage gates of the dam. We continued to spill through 8 out of the 12, and now the VRA is threatening to spill through the remaining 4. So we don't know. It's raining, so that's another situation. You saw Umar Sanda talk about the fact that where he is happens to be sort of a confluence. You have the river meeting the sea. There's a lagoon somewhere. Similar situation in the Keta area, the unlost spaces. So it's a very, 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 very multifaceted, multi-layered, and nuanced situation. And we're dealing with many factors that are affecting what is going to happen from here on out. So food, important. We also need mattresses, blankets. You saw, for those of you who caught the report before we came back from the break, a lot of these people are being camped in safe havens, classrooms, camps that have been set up for them. And these places they didn't come with bedding. It's not a bed and breakfast. It's not a restaurant. So they need something soft to lay on, mattresses, blankets. Mosquito coil is also becoming something that they need because of what they're dealing with. They don't have enough space, we're being told, to erect the kinds of mosquito nets that would be helpful. So mosquito coils, may be helpful in a situation like this. We are looking at medical supplies because people are falling ill, and most health facilities in these areas have also been submerged. Lots of different things are needed. Detergents and toiletries as well. Where you have a situation like this, your hygiene is of the highest importance. And so that's also necessary. And then again, if you want to send some money through, then the number to send your mobile money donations to is 0550 900 006. 0550 900 006. That would be very helpful. And then you can also call the same number 0550 900 006 if you have questions. Maybe there's something you want to do, you're not sure, will it be useful at this time? What can I do? How can I get to you? You have those questions, please go ahead. And again, if you're watching us from outside of Ghana and you want to help Ghana at the moment, do call the same number, but prefix the number with the country code +233.
Right. Okay, I guess we have the naval officer on the line right now. We have Commodore Emmanuel Ayesu Kwafo, Flag Officer, Western Naval Command from the Ghana Navy. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Okay.
All right. So please, can you give us a brief overview of the, Akosombo Dam Spillage disaster going on right now?
Well, this is not an exact overview of the whole picture, but I can tell you what the Navy is doing to assist.
Okay.
Yes. So the Ghana Navy is deploying in several areas, upstream and also downstream as well. And we're not only doing that, we're doing that with the Air Force and the Army. So the Ghana Armed Forces as a whole is involved in this rescue effort. The Air Force flies us to have an overview of the whole area situation, and they take us to places which are not accessible by boat or road, cut-off places. They are able to land us there and land other agencies there to offer the necessary assistance. The Army also has the appropriate engineers helping rescue victims and send supplies to them. And the Navy is also spread along the Water River in about 10 different places. We are in the Savannah, Bono, Tivota, and Greater Accra regions. We are deployed at Dambai, Giyeji, Tapabotoaki, Bandotopo, Ketekrachi, and Akosombo. We are upstream and also downstream. So we're keeping watch on the Sugakope Bridge. We are keeping watch on the Adomi Bridge. We are also keeping watch on the estuary. So last week, for instance, we rescued some fishermen who nearly drowned at the estuary, 10 of them. So we are in touch with NADMO, VRA, and the various district assemblies, and we are working around the clock to help the victims of the flood.
All right. So have there been any challenges or difficulties your team has faced?
Not yet. Nothing is there. We just have to mobilize and respond, So we've not faced any challenges, significant challenges. We've not had anything that we can call challenge.
Okay. Commodore, you have several riverine detachments which also fall along, these areas along the river. Have you had any challenges on that front? Have any of your detachments been affected? Have they also been submerged? What's the situation there?
Well, we have the capacity to withstand it. So, as for the flooding, of course, those areas are flooded, but we experiencing floods. We are at sea.
Yeah.
And the sea is a bigger water body.
You work with the water.
Yes. So, unfortunately, we are more comfortable when there's more water. That's what enhances our operation.
Yeah.
So when we see more water, that is where we are energized. We feel there's safety for our boats and even our personnel. That's a contrasting mindset.
Yeah.
But that is You know, imagine we operate at sea. You know, so we are quite comfortable and poised to assist along in all the areas that we can. So all our detachments are working comfortably and assisting the distressed people.
Wonderful. And Commodore, so like you mentioned, the Navy, you are working very closely with the Ghana, you know, the general armed force body. So the Air Forces, you are working with the Army as well. Now, from what you have seen on the ground, because you are able to penetrate certain places where a civilian would not be able to by way of your setup, are you seeing anything that you think we need to be doing? You know, we here at Citi FM, Citi TV, we've launched a relief campaign. We've come up together with NADMO and VRA, a list of things that we need to get to the people. But is there anything that you're seeing is pressing in terms of support that the people need at this time and how the public can help in that regard?
No, what I would rather say is to encourage you to do more.
Okay.
Because there's no limit to the support that they need there. They need medical support. The doctors and things are on the ground, you know, and there's no need. People have lost their homes. People have lost their livelihoods. People have lost their fortunes, you know, so there's no limit to the help that they need there. So I would rather encourage you to do more of what you are doing.
All right, Commodore, lastly, are there some key lessons that you've learned from this whole Akosombo Dam spillage disaster, both in terms of the disaster management and the role of the Navy?
Okay, so I wish we as Ghanaians, we change our culture of building in valleys. You know, we are often called to wager when there is spillage to go and rescue citizens. You know, we go there, but when the spillage is over, people come into the spillway to come and to come and build. People are living there. You know, we must know that the dam is a very good asset. But too much of everything is bad. So if too much water gets into the dam, it becomes a danger to those living in the low-lying area. You know, so we should try to avoid building in low-lying areas, in dried water beds, in wetlands, and low-lying areas. We should do well to avoid those areas because they are dangerous. Because we are not praying that a dam will break. But in Libya, recently 2 small dams were broken because the water was not spilled. And the number of people who died are not, you can't still count them, thousands, you know. So dams are very good assets, essential assets for the state. But water, too much of it can also be a threat to us. So we should do well to put our houses on high ground instead of valleys. So that is what a message I wish every Ghanaian will understand.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. All right, so we've been talking to Commodore Emmanuel Ayesu Kwafo, flag bearer, Western Naval Command in the Ghana Navy.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, it's great to know that, and we've always known this, that maybe some people didn't know, but for some of us, we know how prepared our armed forces are. I mean, we have one of the most brilliant armed forces, you know, on the continent. And, you know, it's great to see that they stepped up. I love how he said that, you know, even we want to see more water. When we see more water, then we're comfortable.
Yeah, they're happy.
You know, we're happy. You know, but we also need to speak to Honorable Samuel Kujoto Ablakwa. Now, he is the Member of Parliament for the North Tong constituency. We're trying to get him on the line, but his constituency has been one of the most affected, and he's been speaking a lot, pushing Parliament to push the president to call for, you know, a state of emergency, because that would allow us to do certain things, you know, get funds out more quickly into what needs to be done for these people, for these areas. So while we wait to get Honorable on the line, Chris, again, like the commander said, the Commodore said, we can't do enough and we need to do more. And now these are Ghanaians. Look, it could have been any of us. It just needed to be different circumstances, different parents, different grandparents. Somebody who maybe didn't go to school somewhere, ended up somewhere. Somebody who was deployed to go and work somewhere. Because indeed, look, some of the areas like Sogan Kope have also been affected. We have the Holy Trinity Spa. There are a lot of tourism, ecotourism outlets that have been affected. Aqua Safari. Very much affected. There are parts of Senchi. In fact, Senchi as a town is one of the 52 communities that was constructed or created when Nkrumah and his team at the time built the dam. And the idea was that because we knew that certain communities would be affected because of the nature of the dam, they had to be resettled. And Senchi was one of those creations, right? So it could be you who said, okay, I'm going to set up a beach resort, or I'm going to farm somewhere, and this is where my farm will be, and then you'd be affected. It could really be any of us. So again, let's rally together and support the people we need to support our own in this time of crisis. But we now have Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa on the line. He is the Member of Parliament for the North Tong constituency in the Volta region. Good morning, Honorable. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. Trying to keep afloat my high water.
Oh, dear. Are you in your constituency?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me, Honorable?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. Are you currently in your constituency?
Yes. I've been here since the disaster. I haven't moved any.
Okay, and we trust you to do that. You are always on the ground. Now, your constituency has been described as the epicenter of what has happened and the effects that have come as a result of that. Mepe falls within your constituency. I believe Voma as well. A lot of the communities that the names we've been mentioning fall within your constituency. You've been there. What are you seeing? And what are some of the things that have been pushing you to, make a lot of comments about the fact that we should be calling for a national emergency at this time?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. And first of all, let me thank you and all your viewers for the support that you have expressed, your solidarity, the continuous highlighting of the plight of my people. As I speak to you, we have a full-blown humanitarian crisis unfolding. There is no education as we speak. Education has been disrupted for about 2 weeks now. We are using most of our schools for the temporary shelters that we have established. We currently have about 21 of them. Remember that the displaced persons official numbers have increased. We are now in the region of about 12,000, according to NADMO. That's in my constituency.
Right.
Overall, about 28,000, but my constituency is bearing the brunt. We also have a looming public health crisis. The Regional Health Directorate has issued a warning that after an assessment they have done, there is the real threat that we may have an epidemic on our hands. That is why I have collaborated with the Ghana Medical Association and the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. Yesterday I presented the full complement of medicines they need. We are doing a medical caravan in all the 21 camps. We are providing psychological therapy, treatment, screening, watch campaigns. Unfortunately, some of the cases that we are seeing, people are presenting with cholera, with typhoid already.
Wow.
And we are really worried because these are communicable diseases that spread very, very fast. And we are hoping that our team of volunteer doctors and nurses will be able to stem the tide so that we don't grapple with a public health emergency when we are not really done with the relocation of our displaced people. I must also add that we are still in dire need of relief items. A lot of these come because they are in classrooms which are not prepared for residential accommodation. You have a situation where there are no places to shower, no toilets, and so we really will need more mobile toilets. We will need to even look at a relocation, because a lot of these camps are not fit for human settlement.
Right.
And I must commend the First Sky Group. Yesterday, they came in and have assured us that if we can get them land, they will come and start some construction so that we can relocate the people in these makeshift camps into a more decent accommodation. And quickly, we have secured land for them, which we are offering free of charge, so that they can help us with this construction. So I want to commend the First Sky Group. They didn't only make a massive donation yesterday in terms of relief items, but they are also going to come back later today to begin construction. And we have offered land so that that construction can take off in earnest. I want to also use this opportunity to commend all those who have come through for us. The ET Church was here yesterday. Professor Nana Jenupoko was here yesterday. We had the First Sky Group, all their subsidiaries. They made a really impressive donation. The Christian Council has been here, also made a very impressive donation. We have also received the Ghana Santa Owners Union. They really surprised us with their very, very massive, presentation of relief items. And we this morning have just received Voltic. Voltic is promising to present about 7,000 pieces of water, sachet water. Wow. And I must commend you at Citi, because they indicated that it is through your campaign. So we should acknowledge that when we speak to you, because you did launch this appeal on our behalf, and it is through your work that they are here. So I really want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts on behalf of the chiefs and people of North Dawn. We are very, very grateful to Citi for the mobilization you are doing to bring aid to our direction. Let me also stress that the nature of the crisis, if you come here right now, the water levels are still rising. Yesterday, we took some of our guests across communities, and some of them broke down, some wept. You have entire communities that are submerged. Mapa is still submerged as I speak to you. And there is no end in sight. The VRA continues to spill from what we have gathered from both the Akosombo and On Dam. And the rains are still falling, as you do know.
Yeah.
And so there is no indication that we are going to be out of the woods anytime soon. That presents a very, very precarious situation. It's really devastating. And that is why we will continue to need assistance. And that's why I continue to appeal to His Excellency the President to declare a state of emergency. As ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee, having reached out to a number of international partners, they have all indicated that if our government declares a state of emergency, then it triggers their ability to assist bilaterally and multilaterally. For example, the UN agencies, they have a mechanism where they can activate their disaster response once a country declares a state of emergency. So we're really running out of time, and we plead with government. There's been too much bureaucracy, too much feet dragging. The lackadaisical approach is not helping our people. People are really struggling to survive. People are distressed. People are traumatized. I mean, just imagine waking up one morning and you lose everything. all your earnings. I mean, at home, you have lost all your properties, all your belongings, all your household appliances, all your documents, your certificates, everything. And then you, in terms of work, most of my people are farming.
Yeah.
Their farms are also gone. So, I mean, it's a double whammy.
Yeah.
You've lost everything, you know, in your domestic setting. And then when it comes to your livelihood,
We've lost that
which
too.
helps you survive, you've lost that too. So just imagine, I mean, losing everything just in a second. So we will plead with government, let's declare this state of emergency. I want to commend the former president for adding his voice yesterday and indicating that, yes, as former president, he knows that once that declaration is done, it does, you know, trigger a lot of international support.
Right.
So we plead with His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Fortunately, he has been here. We have acknowledged his visit, and he has come to see things for himself. So he knows that there's no way you can exaggerate this situation. There is absolutely no way. Indeed, yesterday I put out the latest video, and many people have called me that, look, it does appear that we have even underestimated what is happening. It looks like the media reports have not really captured exactly what is unfolding in North Town. So we are pleading. The situation is bad, and the looming public health crisis is also something that really, really troubles my heart. And I do hope that we will have our health professionals, particularly in the public health space, come to our rescue and see how we can forestall any public health crisis.
All right, Honorable, before we let you go, I just want to ask, so how can the government and local authorities better prepare and respond to such disasters in the future? Obviously, this wasn't envisioned, it just came upon us, and we don't know what the future holds. So how can the government and local authorities prepare for such, you know, disasters in the future?
My honest view, and indeed, I have spoken to a lot of experts, what has happened in this present instance was totally avoidable. It is the negligence of the management of VRA. They are also blaming the meteorological agency for not giving them accurate forecasts. Because if they had done their work well, this spilling could have been done on a gradual basis from a longer period, so that you don't wait to the last hour and then just, you know, descend heavily on my communities with gushing water, strong current, and then everything is destroyed. So this could have been prevented, and it is important that we emphasize that point. That is why I have said that when Parliament resumes, I'll be making a statement, I'll be demanding a parliamentary inquiry, and we will summon the VRA officials. Leaders in Ghana must know that they will be accountable and they will not get away for their indiscretion. This is a case where properties worth millions have been destroyed. People's livelihoods. I mean, this could have been prevented. We should not be here. Then, in terms of medium to long term, there is no excuse as a country why we don't have an engineering solution for how excess water from Akosombo and Dam dams should be spilled. I mean, in a country where we complain that we are still doing subsistence farming, we haven't really modernized our agriculture, and that even though 70% of the workforce is in the agricultural space, they are not doing modernized irrigated agriculture. Why can't we use this water for irrigation, for example? If we put in place tunnels where the excess water can be rechanneled into irrigating agriculture, I mean, it's a win-win situation. If we get food security, we get more jobs, it transforms this economy. So there's really no excuse why this should have happened in the first place and why it should happen again. So I hope that the relevant lessons will be learned and we will put our thinking caps on and get to work, because we're really letting the country down. Look, when this Akosombo Dam was constructed and commissioned in 1965, I mean, many people were excited. My people gave out land. You know, they were so happy that they are contributing to the collective progress of our country. Thanks to that, you know, donation of land and the sacrifices, being relocated and all of that, my people around Fojoku and Togomba were relocated so that these two dams can be constructed. And after all these sacrifices, see what is going on. So, I mean, you make these sacrifices, the dams are built, and now you have to suffer, you know, flooding. There are loss of property. So was the sacrifice worth it? You know, this is what my people are going to keep their lights on so that the dams will not be destroyed, you know, because we have been told that if they don't spill, the dams will break and we will not have electricity, you know. I mean, these dams will not exist to provide electricity. So it's important for people to acknowledge the sacrifices that my people have made. And it is not fair that after all these sacrifices, I mean, they should just be flooded, you know, just because of the indiscretions, the recklessness, and the real, you know, lack of, you know, proper leadership. Look, even if they had to spill in the last minute after they had failed to plan properly, is this how it should have been done? Where was community engagement? Why couldn't we immediately be prompted? I am member of parliament for the area. I can confirm to you that nobody called me from VRA. Nobody called me. If we had been called, we had been given even just a few hours notice, just 3 hours or 2 hour notice. You can immediately, we have information centers, we have local radios, we will let our people know. People will then move to higher ground, can salvage valuables. That didn't happen. So look, we need an inquiry into this matter, and lessons must be learned moving forward to prevent this from recurring.
All right, Honorable, thank you so much for your passion, for your dedication, and for being on the ground, you know, not just in your seat, but actually on the ground as your people are going through this. And thank you for many of the insights that you shared with us this morning as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all the support.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we've been speaking to Honorable Samuel Kujato Ablakwa. He's a member of parliament for the North Tongue constituency. They have taken the brunt, the real hit, as we're dealing with this Akosombo Dam spillage and what has come with it, the unfortunate situation that has come with